as per usual, always puts a smile on my face. Big ups to MB14 every time for the intro song, live and direct. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? We're on Swissbeatbox, being live streamed currently for Beyond the Beats episode 32. 32 episodes already, right here live and direct. Once again, I'm your host, Scott Jackson. Thank you guys for tuning in. I see a lot of people in the chat. They're excited to go and get into this because we have a very special guest today. I'm very happy and excited to go and talk to this gentleman. Seen him around the world in many different places, and I can't wait to see him again. But once again, episode 32. If you guys have questions throughout this, put them in the chat, and the good friend Ilya, Mr. Heidfeld, is going to go through and pick out the best questions to ask at the end. But once again, episode 32. Yeah! So, bringing up right now, I'd like to bring up Mr. Bart Vugt.
Nice.
Reppin' Vonix with a homeboy Maddox, reppin' Majestic with a Barra, Polyrhythm with Timmy. We have Adept with his homeboy Dean. And we got also Beaver representing as well from way back in the day. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. BPM, a.k.a. B-Art. What's going on, dude?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good, too. I'm excited. I'm seeing your face, man, every single time. It makes me happy to go and see people that, during this time especially, it's nice to actually talk to somebody.
Yeah, I know. I like the intro as well. My 1,000 tech teams.
Yeah, many tag teams and BPM as well. I like that as your original name. That was a pretty cool thing to go and find.
Find this. Where did this come
Where
from?
did I find it?
Yeah.
Beyond the Beats. We find these things.
That's nice. Yeah, BPM. BPM. It was my my very first nickname, and I competed in my first battle, and it was in the Netherlands as BPM. And I knew just before like Coop that I wanted to, if I wanted to change my name, I had to do it back then. So I changed it to BR. I thought BPM was a little cheesy, so I changed it.
As the world could have been in a different place with BPM Beatbox instead of B-Art. We would have maybe you would have had less or more success. Who knows? But you chose B-Art, and I really do like that name. So B-Art, ladies and gentlemen, right here live and direct. But yeah, man, let's get into it. I don't really like wasting time. It's going to be good. People watching from around the world. Once again, I'm going to check this live stream. People are stoked on this one, and they're excited. They're excited to go in here. So one more time, ladies and gentlemen, coming at you live and direct, Beyond the Beats, episode 32, with the big homie B-Art. So yeah, man, I usually like to start these things off by using what I find on the internet there, and that's pretty much how I've gone about researching for everybody thus far, is going through different interviews that you've had with online papers and magazines, and then finding interviews that you've done. Big shout out to humanbeatbox.com as well, John Park, all the homies there, Kazu, because they do a lot of great work over on that side too. That helps me out. You actually, it's funny, you were the first ever guest on the original Beyond the Beats series. You actually were the first person ever on the original Beyond the Beats series where Paponi was asking you questions, and you actually have been on that series twice now. So you're the first ever person to be on this series 3 times. Your phone's on mute. One more time.
Is it muting? No, it's not. Right?
Okay, there we go.
You hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's the second time, right? Is that?
No,
Is that?
this is your 3rd time. You were on Beyond Beats twice before. The
Really?
very first one, yeah, you were the very first guest, and then you did a second episode when you were doing your Artist Week, I believe, when you brought out the From Outer Space joint, and you were with Maddox there.
Yeah, but it was the same. Wasn't that the same week?
No, there was 2 different ones. One was originally from when you were at Grand Beatbox Battle, I do believe, and you were much younger then. And then the second one, you were in the black and red shirt.
Ah, okay.
So,
In my mind, I had just done one with Fire Bros. I remember this one very well. That was the first one, yeah, with Fire Bros.
Yeah, but again, first person to be on 3 times. But throughout these things that I've been finding, I usually like to start these things off with a quote. And I really like this quote that you had from Beyond the Beats in 2013, where you said, "It shouldn't feel like practice. It's just making music and enjoying music. And that's when you become great, I think." Now, I like that quote because it speaks to the idea of practicing, and that idea of when you're doing something you love and really enjoy it, you're not being like, oh, I got to go and practice for 15 minutes like this and then 20 minutes like this. And it's really regimented and you're forcing yourself to do it. And I just like that you have that natural want to go and get better, that natural feeling of having fun and enjoying it. And right off, before I start into how you started, how do you feel like that has that changed since 2013? Do you now have times where you practice and you're like really focusing on certain things or forcing yourself, or are you still really just enjoying and creating music in your mind?
For the most part, I'm still. It still doesn't feel like practice. Is mostly when I feel creative. I like. It's more like it's. Let me rephrase as well. Like before battles, like when a battle comes up, I force myself into practicing. But when there is not a battle coming up, and I don't have to practice, practice just comes naturally, and then it doesn't really feel like it. Yeah.
Do you have a guess about how long you practice every week? Do you have an estimate, or is that something that changes week by week, day to day type thing?
It's very, very different every single week. Every single month is very different. I can even take breaks that are long, and it would scare people to if I would say how long these breaks can be sometimes. But sometimes you need a creative break, and then you have to trust that you will get creative when you come back to it.
100%. There's times where it helps to go and be away from something that you love, and then when you come back to it, you're excited again and woken up and being like, all right, it's time to get back to it. So that's super dope. And where do you find that you do most of your practice in? Is it in everyone practices in a shower type thing, but do you have places that you specifically practice, and is it on the mic or without a mic in your for most of your practicing?
Yeah, so the nice thing about this place is I'm below ground right now. This is just like a basement. This is the place where I practice and I do my editing here, and so my neighbors won't get crazy of me. I can just practice really loudly here with the speaker that I have in the back here, and I really enjoy practicing on microphone. It really gives me so much more energy than I practice everywhere. Like I beatbox everywhere, especially in the shower, like everyone else. But I really enjoy beatboxing on a speaker because it gives me so much more energy. When I'm beatboxing, I try to get myself to jump or at least to move a lot. And when I get myself into this and when I get myself hyped, I'm most creative.
Absolutely. There's nothing quite like going through an actual setup, an actual microphone, even practicing without a microphone, even if you're in like a space that's super reflective for sound and has that ambiance, and you can actually get that like the resonance that's going around and stuff coming back to you. There are some places that are super dope to do that, like, the shower, the stairwells and all that stuff. But something about taking that microphone and getting that electronic sound coming through is very proper, very proper. Yeah, so I'm gonna go on to how in my opinion, from what I've read and saw online and what you've said, this is the beginning of how you got involved with beatboxing. You said that you watched a gentleman by the name of Najib Amhali, and you saw him do some sound effects at a cabaret show, and it was on TV, and you're like, whoa, that's really interesting. So you started doing little sounds. But then this got you into finding Daichi. 2010, you find Daichi, and you're like, whoa. And you just start pursuing beatboxing right from that point. And from there, it leads you over to the Reaps One interview, who said is one of your biggest inspirations when you started off, and watching that Beatbox Battle television interview, that super famous one that he's done, that really got you into practicing every day and pursuing more and more and more and more and more. So I was going to say, what was it about this gentleman, Najib, that you watched that kind of was like super interesting just to go and start making sounds? And how did you see there a difference between what he was doing and someone like Daichi, then Reaps One, in the beatbox world?
Yeah, so when I saw this comedian using beatboxing, and he had a little loop station, he did like he was famous for his like dolphin sound. He did like a dolphin kind of thing. but I didn't know what beatboxing was at the time. So I thought this was the only thing that I saw. He was making sounds with his mouth and using it in a way of storytelling, and I thought that was really really interesting and dope. And I was really intrigued by that kind of art form, how he combined the two things. And after that, I found beatbox, and I thought, oh my god, this is so cool. Like when I saw Daishi for the first time, I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. I don't know what it sparked in me, but I was young, and I was like, this is what I want to do, like for a long time. And I did that. Like I watched this one video of Daishi for I think about 3 months. I didn't know about any other beatboxers at the time, so I was just watching this one video, just like on repeat. I think the video was like, what is it, 2 minutes or 3 minutes? I just repeated it and repeated it and repeated it, and I just as a kid, I was just looking at his mouth, like, how is he doing the sounds? And I was trying to replicate it. And I found myself like, after a couple of months, I could kind of mimic what he was doing. And he was not even explaining the sounds. It's just like by practicing, you become better. And that's kind of how I rolled into beatbox. After that, I found other beatboxers and Dutch meetings that I joined. But this is really the start. And yeah, after Daishi, I even like Carrying Effects was a huge funny because not so long ago I was in Rotterdam with Timmy again. We didn't see each other for a very long time. My tech team partner Timmy from Polyrhythm, and we were watching back the King of the Dot battles where you were like in the back, like hosting. Yeah, those were so cool. Like the environment was so cool with everyone standing around and everyone, you could see everyone's facial expression during the battle was so cool to watch back, like against Caleb Simmons and yeah, it was it's really fun to look back. The Carrying Effects was a very big inspiration to me too. Yeah.
Those classic battles. I love those King of the Dot battles. Shouts to King of the Dot. They're doing big stuff too. If you guys still want to be interested in Battle Rap, check out they're on Twitch right now doing a $50,000 first prize for a tournament. So they're down to the final four. Check them out. And again, so you start practicing. You've been watching the same video, and then you kind of expand your idea of it when you see Reaps and you see other videos of beatboxers. But you said one of the most important things when you were starting to beatbox was when you met up with this guy Kenny. And it was, you said every 2 weeks you met up with him to practice, and you'd meet up with him continuously to practice, and he was in your area. What was special about the idea, and how did you find someone that was so close to you beatboxing? But what was special about the ability to go and meet up with someone in real life and practice, rather than being online?
This was a very big boost for me. His name was Kaney, he was wearing clothes of Carl Kaney. I'm not sure if you know the brand, but it was like a very hip hop-ish kind of clothing, and that's why everyone called him Kaney. And he lived very close to me, and he was the first beatboxer I ever met. So that was already like for me a special thing. And he lived like 20 minutes by bike away. In the Netherlands, we bike everywhere. So I biked to his place every 2 weeks, and I wanted to show him some new stuff every week or every 2 weeks. And this really pushed me. I just wanted to impress this guy and show him something new every time. So this was a very big boost for me to just keep improving yourself. There was not a battle for me then, but it was just to impress this one friend that I had. Yeah.
Where did you guys link up though? Was it at school or was it through a friend or somebody? How did you have that knowledge that other person was beatboxing relatively close to you? Because again, you're in the the north region of the Netherlands.
Very eastern. Yeah, I live very close to the German border, and he does too. I think we met up on Ventrilo or Facebook. I remember we back in the day, instead of Discord, we used Ventrilo. That was before TeamSpeak and Discord. Back in the old days. You're laughing because
yeah.
I think we met up or on Ventrilo or on a Facebook page that was just there for beatboxers. We have like a Dutch beatbox community page, and Dutch beatboxers are part of that and can find each other there. I think that's it.
And again, having that person to go and bounce it off in real life and practice with, I don't know. It's always like I've always been more about meeting people in real life. And now because of this stuff, I can see how advantageous being online is and having the availability to go and meet people from all around the world doing this and seeing all these different talented people doing it. So that's really opened my eyes personally. But like the old school way of doing was you only had to find somebody who actually did it as well, whether it's through friends saying, oh, this guy over at this school does it, or this person over here does it. And getting actually to meet up and practice with people was the original old school way of doing it. But it's something about being live and actually seeing a person do it right in front of you. Even the sound doesn't really translate sometimes, even in videos and online. I feel like that's still lost a little bit because you can hear someone's bass kick that might be just crazy in real life, and online it doesn't have that same sound to it, you know? Have you found that videos watching yourself back and just beatboxers in general that you're like, that sound sometimes is lost when you don't hear it right live and direct?
Yeah, definitely. You have to always guess if the sound would be good on a different sound system or whatever. And sometimes I don't like to watch myself back in battles anyways, but sometimes I don't watch battles back if I saw them live because then I still stay with the battle how it was when I watched it. Yeah.
I found that that's happened a bunch of times where people, if they're not there live seeing a battle and then you watch it back, in the moment, you think one person won, and online back when you've watched it and have time to study and it's gone through and audio master and all this stuff, you're like, well, maybe that person won. And it's always a debate that happens where people who aren't there to see it live are complaining and yelling online.
A big thing that's always lost is power. Like, for instance, I feel like I'm a pretty, like, there are a bunch of pretty powerful beatboxes, but their power gets lost a little bit in editing. Like with compression, the guy who's quieter and he has like crazy sounds will sound in post production when the battle gets released sounds a little bit better usually. So you have to take that in account. So a lot of people will be like, oh, the judges make such a shitty decision. But then the other guy live was so much more powerful, but you just can't hear it. So yeah.
It's
so yeah,
definitely-
people go to events, go see it, see it live.
Yeah. When they do come back, when live events are happening, go and check out a local beatbox battle. Not now. It'll probably be difficult to go and figure that out. After you start practicing more, you the first videos I ever found that you had was you did freestyle beatbox when it was just called freestyle beatbox, and it was the first video in 2011, I think is when you started putting out YouTube videos on your channel. And then I saw in 2012, so again, you said you started around 2010, 2011, you start showing skills, and the video that was out, the very first videos I found of you, you already really picked it up, and you must have really practiced to that point because you had already such a range of sounds and good understanding of it. But you said in the first battle that you ever went to, you had that moment on stage where you realized you were performing other people's beats, and you're like, wait a second, I need to go and be original to go and win competitions. And it was a hard realization of being on stage being like, I don't really have that many original beats. So how did you get out of that cycle, which every beatboxer goes through, of when you're first learning, you practice other people's beats and you try to mimic what you hear? How did you get out of that cycle and break that cycle for yourself to go and really find original content and original style for yourself?
Yeah, it was I think there was a moment. I'm not sure which year this was for GBB. There was a moment when Beat Rhino won a wild card, and I think this actually inspired me a little bit. This because he did like a lot of really original like weird sounds he did, and he won a wild card with this beat he did. And I was like, wow, this is like he did something completely different than everyone else at the time, and he won a wild card. I was like, am I able to do this as well? And I started practicing more on sounds that I started to try and develop new sounds. I would just lay in bed and just like try like can I put my tongue there or my lip there and start creating something new, because if you create new sounds, everything you do with that sound will always be original or perceived original. So even when you do it in a pretty standard beat, if it's like a sound that only you can do, it's already perceived as original, which is like a huge, like a big up for whatever style you have.
And you said that when you were originally making stuff too, and still to this day, I assume it's true, you'd sit there and freestyle for ever, just freestyle and freestyle and freestyle and practicing, and then you'd think about little parts that you'd be like, oh, that's a good little section. Let me hold on to that one and continue and be like, oh, that's a good little section. And you find is that the way that you still practice now of just freestyling for a very long time and trying to pick and choose parts to go and expand on?
Yes, that's still one of the best ways. It also helps to have like a good friend for me. That is Voxel. Voxel, he always helps me shoot my videos as well, and he knows my style very well. So sometimes we practice together, and he helps me pick beats, or he's like, oh, maybe if you do this in the drop, this will be better. It's very good to have like a partner that you can talk about your beats with. But if you're on your own, if you're just practicing by yourself, it's really nice to just get yourself jumping or at least moving from your own beats. Like not too long ago, I was practicing here, and I was just like imagining the GBB crowd. I was like, oh, if I do this, that would be so sick, right? And I'm imagining the battle already for 21, which is so far away, but it still keeps me motivated.
It's good that you're practicing already, though. Try to come for that crown on that one.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes in the future too. And speaking of battles, so you do your first few battles, and the first battle that I found that is when you actually changed, already through your name change. So 2012, it was called Spin the Mic battle, and you were up against a guy named Rude Beats.
Yes.
And is that one of the first battles that you entered in live competition, not just like street battles?
Yeah, that was the first one. That was the very first one. I competed in one battle as BPM, and this was the very first battle. And I remember I thought so highly of myself back then. I was like, I can mess up everyone at this point. I was beatboxing for not even 3 years, and I was like, I'm gonna mess up everyone. I can do that sound. I can do that sound. You know, this makes me the master. You know. And I was watching other Dutch beatbox, and I was getting a little cocky at that age, and I was like, I was like, maybe I'll take this battle. And then there was like this random pick out of the hat, which would be your opponent, and I got Rude Beats, and for me, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be easy, and he completely destroyed me. So that was a very very good lesson, and my ego got destroyed that day, but I think this was very valuable for me at that moment. It was a good ego crusher.
It was, and then 2013 is where you really started picking up and kind of got that intro to the world of international beatboxing scene. I saw too you did a few videos where you had, or I guess they're not on your channel, but you worked with an orchestra already in 2012, where you had done a beat where you were alongside an orchestra playing. You had a solo and a piece with them. And I thought that was interesting that even 3 years in, you were already performing with other people and collaborating on ideas. Thought it was very cool to go and see that.
Yeah, I remember having a lot of not only not strange, but like I had a lot of strange intermezzos as a beginning beatboxer. Like I took every gig that I could. In the beginning, none of the gigs paid or very little, and it was always like a guy was like, you know what would be cool if you would do a battle with a drummer, or like you do something with like it would always be like this random idea, and it would always be like yeah let's do it, you know, like I just wanted to perform, and yeah, so I did all these things. Yeah,
100%. That's the way to do it. I found even for myself when I started beatboxing, and still to this day, I don't really like you don't want to go and turn down too many gigs, but like you'll put people's other ideas of beatbox, and they'll be like, how about you do this? Well, we have this thing doing this, and there's going to be, you know, a circus person doing that, and this person's over here. Like, sure, I guess. You got some money, I'll do it, I guess. But let's go and continue on. So 2013, again, huge year. You said after a meeting with a group of beatboxers in the Netherlands that were all kind of just having their get together. So I'm not sure if it was a bar or a hurricane, you said, that gave you a call saying, hey, we got this offer to go and to be in the Le Cup, 2013 Le Cup, and we need one more teammate, but we already have in between you and another guy. So if you can go and make it and confirm right now, you're on the team, and you got this call at school. So again, 2013, before you become national champion and all these things, what was that experience like to go and be called as one of the top beatboxers in the Netherlands to go and represent your country? And that 2013 Le Cup is like one of the most classic beatbox things of all time, in my opinion.
This was such a big battle at the time. I was honestly, I was very, very, very lucky. Like all stars, whether it's like one line for me to go to La Coupe. I had to go to Rotterdam to this, but I was young, so I couldn't get there by myself really easily. There was this meeting, and I wanted to go, and I asked my parents, and my parents, obviously, as everyone experienced, like when you're beatboxing as a kid, not all parents take it very serious as a hobby or as something that you want to do for a long time. But I asked them like can I go there? And my dad was you don't have any other hobbies, so I'll bring you there, and I'll see what I'll do. So he brought me by car to this meeting, which was already lucky for me. And then I remember I was practicing this like this click technique, like I was practicing this because Ibarra was doing a lot of clicks back in the day. And then we had this circle jam, and I positioned myself just after Ibarra, and he did this click thing, and I was like, yeah, now I can do the circle jam next to it. And it was always I was picking the beat from him, and I was also doing the clicks. And I think that was the moment that he was like, oh, this kid is really good. He can just do anything, but I could just do the clicks. And and afterwards he was like, so smart.
Intelligence.
Yeah, and afterwards he called me. He was like, yeah, we have they used to have 4 people. They competed in like in a Dutch TV show. It was like a cappella a battle that they used to have in the Netherlands, and they were with 4 people, and apparently they kicked a guy out. I don't know what the reason was, but they needed a new one for La Coupe. So they called me. It was like, yeah, this kid from this one meeting, you seem pretty good. Let's see if we can do something with him. And he called me, and yeah, he had to convince my parents for me to go to France because I was a little kid. So yeah, that was my first international battle, and I haven't won any battles before that. So that was really exciting.
And that was the time where your first features on SBX that came out of that, because they actually put those battles up, right? And the first guy that I saw you go against was MG from Hungary, and then you had a classic battle with Babli. How did it feel? Because at that time too, big shout outs to Babli, 100%, one of the greats. How was it for you as, again, this beatbox kid from the Netherlands to go up against Babli and actually win? And you said that you had a hard time believing it looking at the judges, because you thought that you made some mistakes, and you thought that, and you said Tim came over and was like, no, man, you got this, and you won, and you could see that you actually got the votes. So how was it for you as first time at a international beatbox event? You go up against MG, you go up against Babli with this crazy round, and you go up against Litos as well. And not only that, you win a special award from that event as a soloist. So can you explain just that whirlwind of everything working out, where you get that, not like, out of so many beatboxers, again, La Cup, super crazy, that event, super crazy. Big shout outs to my dog Kim and all the guys setting it up. But like, to go and have so many beatboxers there and actually receive a special award alongside Litos, and having that battle against one of the biggest beatboxers at that time, Babli, and taking it, what would that do for confidence boost, and also just the feeling of it coming back and kind of having all that stuff come back onto you and be like, whoa, all right.
Yeah, La Coupe was a very important event for me. It was really big. It was really so much crazy artists were there. After that event, I learned the inward bass because Marcus was joining there. Marcus was the very first guy I've seen doing the inward bass. But like battling Babli, it was crazy. I was again extremely lucky at this moment. You have to imagine that there were 8 countries that were being randomly picked against each other, and then also your team was randomly picked against each other. So a day before, I was the Dutch beatboxers are always shit talking like a lot. So I was with Ibarra. I was like, yo, tomorrow we're going to be randomly picked against Germany. I'm going to be against Babli, and I'm going to win. I've said this to Ibarra, like, just shit talking. I didn't believe myself, but I was just repeating it to Ibarra all the time. I was like, we're gonna go against Germany, and I'm going to go against Bubbly, and I'm gonna win. And then he's like, yeah, you're talking so much shit. And then like at the evening of the event, they announced the Netherlands versus Germany, and I said, see, Ibarra, it's gonna happen. And he's like, yeah, bullshit. And then I got picked against Bubbly, and I've just been practicing this bass like the entire weekend. Like I was just so I was just like trying to come up with like my second round would always be this round against him, because I knew Bubbly would use something like which is famous for. But then again, I was very lucky. Bubbly had better days of beatboxing before that. Bubbly is an amazing beatboxer. He can do so much. So I was very lucky to win against him. He was also way more powerful than me on stage. It's one of these things that you don't see back on video. But yeah, this battle was very, very crazy for me, and I got to hang out because of this battle. I got to hang out with a lot of, for me at the time, famous beatboxers. You know, as a kid, it's very special to see all these guys, but you don't want to like bother them. But they came up to me to congratulate me, and I started hanging out with guys that I looked up to. So that was like very special for me. Yeah.
And after that battle coming back, you get into, I think it's the 2013 when you go to the Dutch Championships, and you end up in the finals. I believe 2013, if I see the translation on this correctly, and it was against Hurricane, and you actually went to a 30-second overtime, which he ended up taking the win. Was that the finals or was that the semifinals?
Ooh, I think it was semifinals. I think I've never been in a final in the Dutch Championships, and no, I think it was in the semifinals.
Okay,
Yeah.
just little translations. I'm trying out here, but I only speak English, so I'm trying to find the YouTube or whatever the name is from things that try to translate it over, and it said, I wasn't sure if it said semifinal or final, but during that battle too, 2013, you get into the Dutch Championships, you make it in, and again, for one of your first times at a Dutch Championship, you can't Hurricanes smashed it too. Then you actually bring him to overtime, so that's another feather in the hat. And then you go into the Emperor of the Mic 2013. Your wild card for that, like super crazy, and you end up facing Marcus, which he did an amazing job in the opening round. But 2013 is a powerful year for you, and you start getting recognition online and start getting recognition around the world. After you get that availability to other beatboxers that you looked up to go and be able to talk to them, let's say, and get their advice, how did that kind of help you shape your career and also shape where you were going with beatboxing, having that availability of talking to somebody that you would look up to, like you said before?
I'm sorry. Can you rephrase the question?
Okay, I just the idea of when you start out and you have for most beatboxers, again, you start out, you practice, you find a few people that you practice with, but then that first time that you get to an international stage and do well, and the recognition from your peers and people that you would have looked up to, how was it for you to be able to go and talk to them after the events online, or be able to send messages and them know who you are and maybe give you advice on routines or be able to bounce stuff off them? Getting that introduction to the international scene, my question is kind of just how did that shape where you were taking your beatboxing? Was it helpful to have that availability to talk to these people that you looked up to?
Yeah, definitely. I remember, for example, there's one random thing that I remember. I think it was after like Cooper or an event after that. I was with Litos at an airport, and I remember he was just like, before he was leaving, he was just like, but improve your inward case snare, right? Like these things. But yeah, especially like battles, for instance. But even before La Coupe, just the practicing for La Coupe, like practicing with Ibarra, Timmy, and Hurricane, they mentored me a lot in getting my basics better. Because most beatboxers, especially nowadays, but I had the same problem. They don't learn the basics before they go with the crazy sounds, and I had the same problem. I really wanted to be technical, and but my kick and my snare weren't loud. So these are things they really tried to fix, and I had Ibarra really teach me a lot about like these basics and nailing them really well. I think battles like, for instance, I think it was the same or the next year. The Emperor of Mike, yeah, but yeah, it was Emperor of Mike. I'm thinking about Shootout Battle, but it's the same kind of kind of thing. It's where you're like stuck with like 8 beatboxers for like almost a week or like half a week, which is really it's one of these battles where you just are able to hang out with like certain people for a long time. And you just have breakfast with them, and you just get their vibe way more than, for instance, like a GBB is amazing, but you meet so much people. And with the Emperor of Mike, it's way more like just like 8 beatboxers that have amazing beatbox skills that you just hang out for a very long time. And those times, I think I learned the most.
That's one event that I definitely still want to go to is Vocal Total, and big shout out to Nexor setting that up as well. But that seems like such a great time to be able to go and as you said, workshop and just jam and chill with these people, these other beatboxers. But then also at any point in time, you can go and have the availability to be like, hey, so how do you do this? Or what do you think of this? And someone else's mind might take it a different way. So 2013, you get this huge splash. Now 2014, you go and get into Grand Beatbox Battle, GBB, and you get to be there. And when you get to go and do a shout out with Reaps One as one of the first beatboxers that truly inspired you as Dark Power, when you have this as the quotation marks, what was that experience for you to go and A, meet him, B, do a shout out with him that actually had a lot of success, and just GBB in general? What was the first vibe that you caught off of it?
GBB, back then it was still in Switzerland, an amazing location. Most years it would snow in Switzerland, which was beautiful. But yeah, making a shout out with Reaps One was amazing. I remember Pepuni was walking up to me and he was like, "Yo, do you want to make a shout out with Reaps One?" I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, we'll do it right now. And he brought me to the like they have a little basement where they do all the shout outs, and we recorded a few things. And then we're like, we didn't practice anything. Yeah, just do bass. Just do something with bass. And we did something with bass. So
oh man. Yeah, just to do something. You'll figure out. No pressure. And he said he just woke up and came down and did that with you. That's super cool. Again, I love that. I love when the more I've been doing this show and talking to people, it's just it's a good feeling to go and talk to people and see it when those people that are, idols in beatbox and become peers, and you can talk to them and jam with them and do stuff with them. It's super dope, and they become friends. So again, that's a super cool time to go and GBB it up and smash it with Reaps One. Right? And then 2014 as well. 2014 is a really big year for you because you become the Dutch champion in the finals versus Ibarra. What was different about that 2014 Dutch championship in your training and or confidence, and or how did it feel to go and become the Dutch champion, and just what did that mean to you at that time?
I think it helps to not sometimes it helps to not win. I'm always scared for the guy that becomes second place because I always you can see the fire in his eyes for the next battle. It happens with a lot of beatboxers. You see them becoming second place, and next year they almost certainly will be first place. Those are the scary guys to look out for. And I remember being very disappointed in myself the year before, even though it's always crazy how perfectionists we become about our own capabilities. But for me, I really wanted to win in 2013, and that didn't happen. So I practiced as hard as I could for the year after that, and there was almost no way I was gonna lose it in my mind. So being the champion of your country is obviously an amazing feeling. Yeah.
And I'm just gonna continue on the Dutch side of things for a second. 2015, there isn't a battle for some reason, so I'm gonna ask you about why that happened, and then 2016. You would come back and defend your championship and win it again. So what happened in 2015, if you don't mind me, I'm not sure exactly, but what happened in 2015 where there was no battle, and then to have 2 years, to be a champion from 2014 to 2016 with that extra year of practice for other people as well as yourself, but leading up to the finals when you got back in it in 2016 to go and be two-time Dutch solo champion. How'd that happen for you of having that year off? Why'd that battle not happen? And then how was it for you to come back and defend after that many years of, another full 2 years of people being able to practice and come up?
I think I think the management changed, like the organization changed that year. It was always done by this one company, and then it kind of changed or transferred to Hurricane is organizing it now. And this was a year where the organization was just not there, and someone had to pick it up, and Hurricane picked it up afterwards. So there was no battle, which is always a shame.
Big sad.
Yeah, it's always a little bit sad when there is no national championships. But yeah, that was the reason. Yeah, and I wanted to become like I remember back in the day. Then there were a few beatboxers, especially from, I think it was like, is it Ball Z who won like 3 times UK championships? There were a couple of guys who won a couple of times like their championships. So I wanted to obviously do the same thing. Yeah, so I wanted to defend it as well. I still am a big believer of defending your title. I think if you want to be the champion of your country, you need to beat the best. I think that's also the best feeling. If you're able to beat the best, then you can call yourself the champion. So yeah, I wanted to compete again, and
yeah, man, that competition bug has been with you for a long time, because 2014 again, you do the shootout battle and you go up against Alexinho, and that kind of starts. I think that's the first time that I've been able to find you battled Alexinho was 2014, and you and him have gone back and had many battles over the years, many battles, and you do the St. Legends battle. You end up winning the small final against Funkus Tech. Eventually, you lost to Bavely and beat JWoww in the beginning, but then continuing in 2014, you also go over to America and you get to go and judge the American champs in 2014.
That was amazing.
Super dope, because that panel was Reeps 1, Rozelle, you had Michael Winslow, yourself.
Yeah,
it was a stacked year.
Nuts. Yeah.
And was that the first time that you went to North America?
Yeah, it was. We did like a combination. There's a guy, a beatboxer called Chris Hatchie. He's from
Hamilton, Ontario. Big ups to Chris Hatchie.
Yeah, from Canada, and he organized. It was called the Proper Steel Beatbox Battle, and yeah, the organization from both battles. I'm just getting away the pop-ups on my screen because I'm on my phone. Yeah, so they combined it. So I went to this Proper Steel one to judge it, and then I went to America also to see my girlfriend at the time, because my girlfriend at the time was Veronica. You might know her as Verver Beatbox. So yeah, I could do all of that. I was
and again, at that time too, and it's always going to be a little bit different. Was your impression of the North American scene comparatively to the European scene? Could you go from your point of view as a European beatboxer who had some success and was a national champion? What's the difference that you saw back in 2014, 13-ish of European beatboxing fast forwarded to today? Is there a difference that you see that has changed? What's the change that you've seen in the North American scene and European scene from 2013 to 2020?
The American scene became so much better. I remember as a European watching battles from 2010 and onwards, and we thought like this can't be the level of America. We always thought, not to talk down on any beatboxers, but we always thought like beatbox came from America, and the hip hop culture is probably really, really big. So we couldn't imagine that the guys representing at that time would be the best beatbox. But like in a few years, the level went up so much. It just took like 2 or 3 years, and so much new beatboxers came up in America, and so like their level became the same as countries like the UK or France.
Again, and it's something I love. I love being able to watch live. I've had the opportunity to go around and see different scenes, and it's one of the things I love seeing is the growth in the scene. And again, at 2014 era, B-Art starting off national champion. How was the Dutch scene back then comparatively to what it is today? When you first got into the Dutch scene, and big shout outs to all your guys that have been killing it and crushing it over the years. But what's the difference that you see in a current scene today from when it was back 2012-ish, even when you first battled?
Actually, it used to be bigger in my mind. We always got together a lot. The Dutch, because the Netherlands is very small country. Like with 2 hours, you can travel from one side to the other side. With 3 hours maximum, and we always got together in the middle of the Netherlands. There's a place called Utrecht, is one of our bigger cities. We got together there like every 2 months, and we had this guy called Kilian. He was is from a place close to Amsterdam, and he got shirts for everyone, like everyone with their names on it, like Dutch Beatbox Unite and everything. And everyone was wearing that, and we got together and we would just jam in a park, and that was like a very good time for Dutch beatbox. And it kind of at one point we had like 30 people jamming, and it was like a lot for the Netherlands. And that kind of went down for a couple of years, and it and just like nobody got together anymore. And I'm just right now in this Corona time. It's actually the worst time to start this, but I'm trying to set up these cool locations where I teach beatboxers, and I'm seeing finally people are coming together. I have 2 locations, one in Zwolle and one in Amsterdam, and I'm seeing the students coming together for the lessons, but then they hang out afterwards. They hang out after the lessons, and they connect. And I have these WhatsApp groups with all the students, and they share beats every day, and I'm trying to build it that way. And I think this really helps to kind of get it to that level that it was before, that people actually maybe even go to GBB, because I'm always a little bit disappointed in the Dutch scene when I go to GBB and there's like 2 or 3 Dutch guys, in the crowd. And I see a country like Belgium, and I see so much Belgium guys just like representing and going for Belgium. Because their scene is big and travels to GBB to see these beatboxers live, and the Netherlands never had this. And I hope I can bring the students, so we finally have like a little Dutch crowd, maybe a Dutch flag, who knows.
The Dutch demolition.
Yeah.
Man, but you've been like, again, by yourself solo and working with guys like when you did the Le Cup, when you did it with Ibarra, and it was U2 versus BMG and Firebraz on the Loop Station. You've been representing there, and then you also got on with your teammate, where you guys actually got to go and represent in 2018 as well for the tag teams. So you've been pushing it, and I'm happy to see that. But 2014, you get 3rd place at the Beatbox All Stars event, and then 2015 is when you were in the Element Beatbox battle, the 5th Element Beatbox battle on the YouTube channel, YouTube studios for American Beatbox, or Beatbox TV rather, and you end up taking home a win. And is that the first international battle that you won in 2015?
Wow, it could be. I think so.
Because 2015 is a huge year for you, man. 2015 is another huge year. You just keep on building and building. I can see it. You win that battle.
There was one Bulgarian battle that
Beatbox Masters.
Yeah, Beatbox Masters. That's one I won in 2015 as well. But the American one might be the first one. Yeah, I don't remember.
I think what the American battle, and you battled guys like Omni, Villain in the finals against Beat Rhino, and you take a W from there. And you also go to the World Beatbox Championships, making top 16, which is a huge compliment. And any beatboxer that's been able to do it is on that upper echelon of beatboxers. And you go ahead and take that win again, where you went to the Beatbox Masters battle in Bulgaria. And that's, again, a super tight battle where you face Vesco that you go against Gino, that classic battle with Big Ben, and you end up in the finals against the Defects and taking home another big W. So again, 2015, man, another smash year. Can you go and again? It hasn't been announced, and I actually have no idea of what the timing is for the next World Championship, and obviously everything is being put on some sort of hold one way or another due to what's happening. But when 2015 rolls around, you're the Dutch champ, you get to go and represent the Netherlands in the World Champs, and you make top 16. From watching it online as a kid to that moment in your life, being able to go and represent in the World Champs and making top 16 for the Netherlands, could you talk a little bit about that experience as well?
Yeah, it's so funny when you say like you become in the top 16, because for me it was like it sounds really strange, but for me it wasn't that big of an accomplishment. For me, I just wanted to to become the first Dutch guy to go top 4, you know, because Monkey before me, he was the first Dutch guy who became top 8, so I wanted to at least beat his record, you know. And so not winning a battle, like I went through the elimination with the song that I recorded also in the Artist Week as an elimination, which was really cool. But then I didn't win my first battle, I think. No. And so against Alexinho again. I think
Yes.
I battled him 5 times now, if I remember the battles that you just called, and I never won.
Thus far. Alexinho's a monster, though. Alexinho's a monster.
Yeah. And so it was a huge year for me, but it's I expected more from myself at the World Championships, but I strive for more. Yeah.
That's good, because fast forwarding 2016, once again you get the Dutch Championship. Once again you become that. You battled up and had a bunch of different things happen in 2016. And 2017 though, 2016, you get this huge viral video with your niece Elian, and you get to go and do this, or maybe cousin, and you get this baby versus beatboxer. Then I saw it on different news reports about it and everything. So that was just taken on a whim, and it's a cute video. If you haven't seen this video, go and watch it. You know, bring your family to go watch it. It's a very, very cute video. When you get a video that blows up that much and has millions and millions of views all across the world, again, being super cute and stuff, being put on Unilad and all these things, how was it for you to go and have that video just being like, whoa, millions and millions of hits off of being like, your turn, and she goes and does it back, and again, super duper cute. How was that video, and having all these different articles written about it and stuff as well? Just could you explain what happened and why that video you think did well and everything else?
It was so crazy. I just, every time I saw my niece, I was just trying to teach her beatbox. I wanted her to mimic it. And at one point, like a lot of babies do this, they just start to go with their tongue a little bit. When they see a tongue, they go like this. And at one point, she would like go like, right? And then but especially it worked especially well when I think we filmed a lot of these with the iPad. She would see herself and myself back in the screen. Like she wouldn't like really look at me, like babies like look around a lot. She would like look at the screen, and she would mimic my face in the screen because the camera was also pointed at her. This is how she learned really, really quickly. So she saw herself back and she saw my face. And so yeah, she just she just started to make this like and the reactions were so nuts. I had a couple of these videos, like 4, and I mashed them together. I edited them together really quickly. I put them on YouTube, and the response was so like, it blew up so much. Like Unilad, all these like viral video content spreaders. I don't know how to call them. They shared all of it. And then even it got on like on Chinese television, UK television. It was a thing on Ridiculousness, which was so fun for me because I like the show. It's a really stupid show, but I really enjoy watching that, and to see myself with the baby, like and then this girl who always has this laugh, right? Like to have this on my video, it's really funny. But yeah, it was insane. I got so much emails. from companies that just wanted to use it, like news shows, Germany as well. They just wanted to use it in like a short clip, like a good morning compilation of just fun videos. So yeah, it was really fun. I've been getting so much like emails and messages for so long after this video. Yeah.
And do you is she still learning? Is she's taken any shine to beatboxing since then, or is it just something that she just did and she's laughing and has that memory of being the kid in the video?
Right now she's very, very shy, and my sister got another daughter, so I'm trying again with the new daughter.
Round 2.
But she's already older than Aylin was at the time, so she's already a little bit older than that. Yeah.
I would love to. That'd be a crazy story. She ends up being your one niece that was in that video ends up being world champ one day, like from the beginning.
Yeah.
Shoot. And yeah, so you continue on. You have different battles that you were in 2017, 2016 as well, and then 2017. I believe it was the shootout battle. Again, you win the shootout battle 2017. No, wait. No, that was 2016. You won the shootout battle.
Yep. 16.
Yeah, so 16 shootout battle, another huge international battle that you end up winning, and it's just continued and continued and continued going. 2018 Vocal Masters, you win against Zeka, Mr. Android, and Footbox G. You go into the finals there. And that was that cool battle that was in like, I think you guys did the promo in like the bookstore and stuff. And
it was in the library. Yeah, it was yeah, it's a famous bookstore, like a branch. We don't even have that in the Netherlands, branch bookstores. But like in Germany, they have like this place called Hugendubel, and the beatbox battle was in this place. Yeah, it was really funny, but it's very bad for beatbox. People don't know this, but like when you stay too long in a bookstore, the air is so extremely dry because all the water in the air goes inside of the books. So your lips just like instantly crack up if you stay there longer than an hour. Most people don't stay longer than an hour in a bookstore, but if you're having a beatbox event, like everybody's face is just like starting to crack.
Oh, that sounds like a horrible time. Dope to have a beatbox battle, but horrible for your actual belt and everything.
Yeah.
But you end up winning that. You go to again, you 2018 another smash hit year, and 2018 you go to the world champs and become vice world champion, once again losing to Alexinho, who has your number for some reason right now. But that's the best that a Dutch has ever done at world champs. And were you satisfied with that? Because in one of the interviews that you said it's obviously disappointing I didn't win, and I really would have loved to win, but you'd only plan to make or try to make top 4. So this was an added one to go and get that level. So when you become vice world champion and second ranking in the world legitimately in 2018, what was going through your mind when you're on that stage and get to that level? If you thought you're only going to get top, or you only wanted top 4, but you achieve even more than that?
I was really, really happy, especially after my battle with Alem. This took a lot out of me. I was so like exhausted after this battle. I had to, before this battle, I usually do this before battles. I try to just like speak things that just like kind of would work for me that aren't true. So like I would be like I would talk to myself like, oh, I'm so enjoying the battle that's about to come. I already won, like that's the thing that I usually say. I already won. I just have to like convince the judges, like things that just like make it easy for me on stage. And I would just like repeat those over and over and until I would believe it. And but the battle against Alem was so crazy, this one. Alem really wanted it, and I did too. And yeah, this was the most crazy battle. And then yeah, losing in the final. I think the worst thing about losing the final was that it was so close. Like the judges were like 3-2,
Yeah.
So like if one guy had like judged a little different, or like, so it was very close. So that makes it like, oh no, it's so close. But it happens. I was very happy with the second place. I remember there was a time when I was on stage. I always have like a winner ceremony on stage, and I was with Chihuahua, who was also second place that year, and she was so disappointed. She was next to me. I'm very good friends with Trung Bao and with the Polish sisters. And we were next to each other just chatting about the battle. But she was so disappointed in herself for being second. And I was like, I told her, you're second in the world, right? And she was like, yeah, I am second in the world. And so like, we try to convince ourselves how it's not that bad to be second.
100%. It's not a Ricky Bobby thing. I don't know if you know Ricky Bobby, but from Talladega Nights. It's a movie with Will Ferrell, and his whole thing is like, if you're not first, you're last. And then when his dad actually talks to him, it's like, nah, man, you could be second, you could be third, heck, you could even be fourth, and that's still good. But he lived his whole life with the idea of only being first. But being second, there's nothing to be ashamed of there. That's second in the world, which is so many people would love that not opportunity, but would have loved to go and become that. And it's all due to the training and stuff that you've been able to go and do. And 2019, fast forward, and you get into what has thus far been the craziest Grand Beatbox battle, where the production on that, everything about it was just at a top level. And you end up going against MB14. You go against D-Lo. D-Lo takes the championship eventually, but you come third place going against Codfish, who was the champion from the year before. So a very successful 2019 as well. Before we get off battles, what do you do when you're preparing for battles? Because a question that I've seen not only in the comments, but was messaged to me by a few people. You've done so many battles. You've had success in so many battles. Why do you like battling? And also, how do you prepare for a battle when you think about round lengths and preparing actual rounds? What is it that is going through your mind when you're preparing for the battle? And why do you like battling so much?
So I've done maybe I've done the most battles out of all beatboxers, and it's because to prepare for battle, I kind of have to battle. So like usually I take a few practice battles before I go to a battle that I'm really going for. So just to practice my beats and practice my mindset, because I have to be in a battle mindset before I go into like a big battle before I can win. I can't just like turn it on like that, like some other beatboxers can. They can just like do one battle a year and win it. For me, it doesn't really work like that. I have to like get into it. And so like it's really good for me to join a few smaller battles and practice there. and for practicing wise, I usually take, I need like 3 weeks to practice for battle, to get all my rounds to a level that I want. I need like a lot of time in those weeks as well. But then I usually just like I wake up, I get coffee. Coffee always helps. I just get myself hyped for my own beats. I just like freestyle a lot and just see what comes. And then I just record it on my phone. I record a lot on my phone. I give them names, and then I write down the names. So it's like I try to keep it as simple as I can for when I go on stage. So I just have to remember a name, and it's a routine. So I don't have to like go in my notebook and see like, if I write all of that down, it would like be very confusing for me. So I like to make it as simple as I can for me on stage. So like even with a lot of stress, I can perform these beats.
And how long do you think it takes for you to prepare for a big battle? Like if you had no time restriction, let's say, because obviously you said you're already preparing for GBB World League 2021, and that's going to give you a long time to really continuously change, refine these beats. So how long does it usually take you to prepare rounds and get fully ready for something like when you did the shootout battle or did the Beatbox Masters battle? How long did it take you to prepare for those rounds and actually be like set in your this is what I'm going to do, and leaving time for freestyle like people do and everything, but this is what I'm going to do?
I remember for the World Championships 2018, I had 6 or 7 months, and I had like every month I had 1 or 2 battles planned, and this was the perfect training for the World Championships. I had just I could just practice my beats, and I was also judging some events, so I could just like do a showcase and try beats there. So I had a lot of events in that time in 2018, following up to to the World Championships. So that was perfect. Just like half a year of just battling a lot. Like almost every 3 weeks I was battling. And if I wasn't battling, I was judging. So judging is also really, really good for looking at beats and seeing what is good and what's not. And seeing what you like, but also what other people enjoy and what works on stage and what doesn't work. So yeah, I would say at least like 3 months would be ideal. Like 3 months would be nice with some battles that you can do.
Do you find that because you've judged a lot of battles too, from American champs, Irish champs, and all over the place, you've been judging battles. What's something that you think is, as a judge, what do you look for specifically as a judge, either in the categories that you're given and what, you know, the quote unquote standard judging things are? What is most impressive to you, excuse me, when you're looking at trying to select someone as a winner in a battle head to head?
I mean, I like a thing that not a lot of people talk about is character. I really enjoy originality. That was like one of the main things I look at. But sometimes a character on stage can do a lot, and it means just like someone who can take the crowd, or just like it's sometimes only in the eyes, or like that says a lot. So you see a character on stage. One person is just performing the beat, and one person is actually like doing so much more, but it's so subtle. And sometimes someone can take a battle just by presenting a character or a story. That's
Absolutely.
sometimes.
That's something that you said that you've worked on too, is stage presence, and seeing someone like, you know, big shout out someone like Freddie Beats smashing it and absolutely kills it and has such a he's a performer's performer. And seeing someone like him, you said that the ability to go and perform these things and actually, as you said, perform them, and not just go up there and grab them like, okay, I'm just going to do my routine, but actually living it and actually having that energy coming off you is something that's huge. When did it really hit you as a beatboxer to be like, you need to be more expressive on stage? And what were the inspirations that you saw around that would have made you feel like, okay, now I'm not just performing, I really got to go and, you know, live this beatbox thing and actually become a performer comparatively just to doing beatboxing, I guess, on stage?
You're asking what kind of beatboxers would inspire me to be more expressive on stage? That was the question.
That's one of them, but yeah, we'll go with that one first. Sometimes I don't describe stuff as well as I should, but you know.
I'm thinking what it was a really good example of. I mean, I love watching not only beatbox, but I'm really into comedy. I really love to watch comedy, and I really love a lot of art forms with just a microphone. And when you have like very limited things, it's really dope to see what people do around that to make the show complete. And so I enjoy watching that, and I take a lot of inspiration from those kind of art forms.
Yeah, single shows with microphones.
Yeah.
I agree. Super dope. I love people just in general. I love people, and I love seeing what they can do with just a microphone and a stage, and whether they're comedians or singers or beatboxers. But anybody that takes vocalism to a high level is always dope to see.
Spoken words. Yeah.
Continuing on battling before we jump off of it. What other battles do you want to go in? What's your goal for battling right now? If you have battles that you want to win, battles that you want to continue to, is there battles that you want to go and create for yourself, an idea for a battle? And also one thing, well, let's go with those two first. So is there any other battles that you want to win currently that are in your mind that you're like, I'm going to practice and try to win for? And are there any battles that you want to do better in that you might have been at already?
For the first question, yeah, I really want to win the GBB or World Championships if that ever comes again. Yeah, so those two battles mainly, and I might join other battles as well because I just enjoy the battle feeling. But yeah, but what was the second question?
I was gonna say, well, I'll come back in a second. But speaking on battles that you want to win, so obviously a GBB and a World Championship are upper echelon top battles in the world. Are there other battles that you think that that you still want the opportunity? Like, would you still do the Dutch national championships again? Would you go back and try to become a 3-time, or a 4-time or whatever it is? I'm not sure what the rules are in the Netherlands, but like, would you still do national championships? And is there a line, again, other battles other than those two main ones that you'd want to get into?
I don't think I want to compete in the I don't say I won't ever, but I don't think I would do it in the next couple of years. I really want my students to win as well. I'm training my students to become better beatboxers, and I just want one of them to take the title. So I'm going to mentor them into, and I have some students that are really crazy, and I really hope these guys that you're going to see them in the next couple of years, because I think they will mess up everyone. They surprise me so much. So yeah, the Dutch championships, I don't think so. I think if there would be like a new La Coupe, or like something with a team, I think it would be dope to join, or even be like a team captain who just like goes outside of the thing and just like mentors it from outside. I think I'd like to do that as well. Just use them as Pokemon, like how cool would that be? Like you have a team captain and you'd be like, yeah, you against you, and use this routine, that would be in my mind so cool.
That's a good idea too. Well, shout outs again to Kim, everybody that does look up. I would definitely like to see that. As a personal fan of it, I would love to go and see that come back and have that team competition. Another question I was going to ask you is on the loop station side of things. You've been doing loop station sets. You've been using them from performing at different championships and actually putting out videos. Is that something that you want to pursue as well for loop station battles? Is that something that you think you're putting the time into, that you can get up to that crazy level of, the Sorrows, the Rhythmines, anybody that you can name that's a top level beatboxer on the loop station? Is that something that you're working on currently still and would want to pursue in the battle realm?
I don't think I put enough time into loop station in order to become as good as the guys that we see right now, because I know how much time it takes to become like really good at something. It just takes a lot of time. I enjoy to do it sometimes, and that's why I like to do battles, because I don't really feel the pressure, because I don't think this is the thing that I want to win or something. I just enjoy performing with it and playing around with it. But that's more like the hobby, and I like to do it. I might join some battles, but I don't think I will ever become like a champion, national champion in loop station. I might try though. I might try. It would be funny if I would.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that for sure. You put out some good stuff with it so far too. And do you going off the battle scene, outside of the battle scene, did you find that since you were already putting out music that you produce outside of beatboxing, no beatboxing involved with it, you did stuff like Get Wrecked, that like from a long time ago. What was it called? Something Wrecked. REKT.
Was that like non-beatbox? Was that
non-beatbox? Yeah, no beatboxing. And you put out that, and then you've put out different something like Deserted with the UM.
Yeah.
But it's only beats. Is that something that you produce as well? Like you produce outside of beatboxing of making beats?
Yeah, I produce, and I have so much ideas, and I really enjoy producing. I just recognize how insanely hard it is to really mix and master well. I'm trying to learn it. I'm working together with a guy people might know, Artifacts. He is a Berlin guy. He works with beatboxers a lot. He's working with Maddox, with Foodbox, and we are actually producing as well. I'm giving him a lot of samples, like beatbox samples, and together we weekly have like a Zoom call where he puts my beats into, like, he makes a song out of sounds that I make, and I hope he's able to learn to teach me a thing or two about mixing and stuff, because he really learned for it at school, and I didn't have that. I never learned how to mix and master well. So the song's always like I have a good idea, then I make it, and then it just like stops at the end, right? Like I don't know how to create like a good song that sounds like other songs. So there are some ideas. I have a lot of projects that I'm working on, but it's just I don't know if I still put them out if they're not like mixed well.
Correctly, yeah. And stuff that you guys have put out correctly is when you were working with something like Blast That Sub, which is a banger with Maddox, and you have Vonux, the group that you've been putting out stuff with. What was the reaction thus far from fans and people from Spotify? I saw that you posted, I believe you said like 92 different countries, people from 92 different countries listen to your music, and a lot of people listen to you, some of them as you're the top person on their Spotify list and stuff.
Yeah.
It's super crazy, man. So how does it for the music side of things as B-Art, nothing to do with battling, but just making music? What's the process that goes into it for you to go and think of an idea that you want to hear as a piece rather than a battle what you call it, round? So what's the difference when you're thinking of making a piece, whether it's with somebody or not, but a piece versus a battle round?
Yeah, battle round. You're more focused on how will it be perceived live. So that means, can people dance to it? Does it have a lot of crazy switches? And a music piece is just like nice to listen to it with headphones, just like you're somewhere and you're not willing to hear like really crazy shit. Some people want to, but it's more like a song structure with a build up and a drop, a bridge. So yeah, you try to be a little bit more musical, and with battles, you're just trying to move people and make people move. Yeah.
And you've been posting like a lot of different music and different pieces. Again, different pieces. Like 2020, the last few ones that you put out were something like Jumanji Pills, Locked, Not Afraid, and most recently yesterday you put out Black Cloud. So people go and check it out. It's been smashing it. How long does it for you take you to make a piece, and how do you again really sit down for a piece that you're putting out on YouTube where you're making this thing and a piece of music in that same idea? How long does it take you to really structure that piece when you're sitting down and thinking about it, not in a battle round, but as you said, something that may be more melodic and something that people would listen to and enjoy outside of a battle?
Well, in the beginning, I wanted to just because I just started Spotify this year, I just wanted to put out a lot of content in the beginning. Even though it was Spotify, I thought like Spotify, I don't want to like put out so much content like Instagram, for instance. But I kind of treated it like I did all the beats that I did in my last battle in France. I had a battle at the the Florida battle. The Florida battle. And so I did some of these beats. So they took not longer than a day to record. We did everything in one take. And Voxel helped me with that to change a little, like some stuff to make it appeal more. And we created those in a very short time. But right now, in the beginning, I just wanted to shotgun out as much as I could, just to create a following as well on Spotify and see what people like as well, like what works on Spotify, what doesn't. And right now I'm at a point where I'm like, I want to create more quality rather than quantity. So I wanted to, for right now, we're actually like making beatbox tracks in a way that I used to produce them with Maddox. So that's really like getting the right pieces together and recording everything like 10,000 times until it sounds the best. And that takes me like a week maybe. So like I'm using the entire week to just like put the best beatbox parts together and make it like sound good. And then in the end of the week, I'll film it with Voxel, and then Voxel shoots me mimicking the song like 5 or 6 times, and he puts them together. He's a really a good filmmaker, and I really like to work with the guy. Yeah.
And you got I'm excited to go and see what else you put out, because again, you've been putting out high quality music and more of it, which is enjoyable for me. And also I've been noticing too, you've been doing more of like the vlogs and kind of YouTuber content creator of having like top 20 different types of beatboxers, top 5 different things I wish I would have known before I started beatboxing, and just many of your videos giving advice and on just that vlogger, YouTuber lifestyle. For people that are thinking at home to do something like this and pursue it, like a good example of someone that's really crushing it as well is Collapse. He's been putting out great content and ideas. So where do you get your ideas from, or like when did you think about, okay, so I've had success in battles, I'm teaching beatboxing, I'm making music. What made you decide to go and put out these YouTuber style of videos?
Yeah, I I mean, I really enjoyed the content. So like I wanted to do something else as well. And I saw my views as well going down a little bit, and I thought, what kind of content would appeal more to some audiences? And a lot of the content is still for beatboxers, because it's a top 10. But I think even for non-beatboxers, some of that content is enjoyable. So that was fun, and I wanted to like act a little bit with Voxel. I like acting, doing stupid voices and shit, and we wanted to just create that content. And if I can give like advice for people that want to do other kinds of YouTube videos, I think it's really important that you enjoy making these videos. Don't just think about like what would appeal to, like what would people watch, what would make me money, because if that's like the goal, it's never sustainable. So do something that you enjoy doing, and if that's something that people watch, that's a golden combination.
Do you find that there's thus far, do you feel like your viewership and people that are fans and following you on all social media things, do you see that has increased because of these videos, or do you feel like there's still that want of just hardcore beatboxers that are just like, no, I don't want to see this. I just want to see you do give me inward bass, give me, kind of that in as quotes I've seen online.
Yeah, I think both. Like if I put on one video, people are like, "Where's the baby?" And if I put another content, then people are like, "What is this? This is not beatbox." So it's never good. But I really enjoy watching people's comments. I just really enjoy it because it's never about the video. It's never about what you're trying to get out there. It's like I'm trying really hard, like doing like some beatbox piece, like there's hours in editing and stuff like that, and people are like, whoa, yeah, there's this one weird thing in the background, or like, watch this. And it's never about like what you're trying to put out. So I really enjoy watching these comments, and yeah.
Oh my God, he's got a beard now.
Yeah, exactly. Or he wear that shirt as well in the other battle, or whatever.
Word. I'm glad you guys are paying attention to the actual stuff I'm doing, but that's okay. That's okay as long as you leave something.
Yeah.
And again, you've done TEDx performances on main media styles of stuff, but how did it feel to go on Holland's Got Talent? Grab a golden buzzer, no big deal.
Yeah,
huge win. How was that for you in your career? And is this with the tag team? Is this something you guys are pursuing, more of corporate and media versions of shows?
Yeah, that was the idea. It was the Corona version of Holland's Got Talent. So it was still the same venue as well, but there was just no crowd. And we were very lucky because there used to be a dancer choreographer in the judge panel, and right now he was replaced. Also because of Corona, he couldn't come from the United States. He couldn't fly in. So there was a Dutch rapper. So we were actually very happy that he joined the crew, because rapper we felt he had a little bit more connection with beatbox than a dancer would have, and he also gave us the golden buzzer, which was really funny, and crazy, because he was like, for people that watched it, it was in Dutch, so you can't really tell what's going on, but he was just basically talking us down. He was just like, yeah. You told us your vice. He was actually asking me, how good are you? So we told him about some of our accomplishments, and he was like, I wish you didn't tell me about your that you are a world champion or a vice world champion, because then now my expectations were really high, and you didn't really deliver. And then he ran to the golden buzzer and he slapped the golden buzzer. So it was like, it was really confusing, but it was good. That's good. It was really really fun experience as well. We learned a lot. We worked with a lot of TV people that taught us about how to move on stage, where to look. We work with wireless microphones. Usually, we always prefer the wired ones, but obviously on stage you want to have the freedom to walk somewhere. And yeah, it taught us a lot about like how to perform even like better. Yeah.
And that's you guys got to you were finalist on that show, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's not the first time though. I found like 2000 way long ago, 2013 I think it was, where I saw a video you sent in for Holland's Got Talent, like way long ago. I found that video. So fast forward a few years, how was it a feeling of being actually selected and getting to the finals from a young V-Art, a young BPM trying out for the show?
Yeah, it was. I'm always very doubtful about going to these shows. They've been asking me to compete in this show for a few years, because they're scouting a lot for these kind of shows. They're scouting just for talent, and I didn't want to do it for a long time, and I also just didn't want to participate just by myself. And a very good friend of mine, Voxel, I asked him, like, do you want to do this? And we're like, let's just do it and create some like covers, and compete. And we didn't expect too much. And obviously the TV people, the guys that work there, they change your show a lot. You don't see that, but they change your show a lot. And I'm sure Barry went through this as well. But yeah, it's all good. It's a very good experience as a performer and entertainer, definitely.
And as the in Holland itself, what was the reaction? Because I know I saw it. I'm a fan of yours too, man. So I saw it on on Facebook and stuff. You're like, oh shoot, the boys got to go and buzzing. Let's go. But in the actual national scene and outside of the beatbox world, how are things going in Holland before this stuff happened? Your career wise, could you kind of explain in Holland how your career is going as a beatboxer? Because I know that you teach a lot, and I know that you've done multiple shows, obviously. But what is the outlook or possibilities in your mind for being a beatboxer, professional beatboxer in Holland?
Yes, it's pretty good. I mean, performance gigs are very very random. They're not like every set month I would have one, but like workshops at schools are very consistent, and I think you do a lot of those as well.
I do.
I do really enjoy giving those. These are really consistent gigs because every school has like these, especially in the Netherlands, they have these culture. There's culture money available for every school, and they have to spend it every single year. So they would have like these days where like a rapper comes, a DJ, but also beatboxer. They can choose for beatbox. And then I'll give them some hours of beatbox, and it's always really enjoyable to teach kids that have never seen anything like it. And then I'm like, hey guys, what beatboxer do you know? And they're all like, yeah, Spencer X, of course.
True.
You know. So yeah, no, it's yeah. So it's mostly workshops and sometimes some gigs. Yeah, and the gigs are really really different. Some are festivals, others are very very small. I did things for like banks. Like the gigs for beatbox are really random.
Absolutely. And is outside of let's go with outside of beatboxing. Like outside of beatboxing, did you have other jobs before? And you're like currently full-time beatboxer. This is what you're pursuing as a career. What were anything else? Because this is something that I always find interesting outside of beatboxing. What other jobs did you have? Did you have any other jobs? Because like for myself, I can say I've done everything from washing dishes to doing roofing. So, I mean, what other jobs did you have kind of growing up? And is there anything that you think about doing outside of beatboxing?
I only did like when I was a kid, I did papers for a couple of years. I was just paper boy. So I did like these yeah. So yeah, that's what I did for a couple of years when I was younger. And afterwards I just studied and pursued beatbox. And yeah, then I started to make some money with Beatbox, and that's what I do right now full time. Yeah.
Sick. And is there anything that you were studying, or you would like? Did you think of anything outside of, if you weren't a beatboxer? This is a question that people have asked multiple times and asked me too, and it's a very hard one to think about. But if you weren't a professional beatboxer, what else do you think would be interesting to you to do as a career?
I mean, I don't have anything like very specific that I would do. I studied communication and media design, but I'm a horrible designer. I was a horrible student. I always, when I had the opportunity to go to any event, I would just be gone. I would just skip school. Very bad example. I am. Don't listen to me, kids. Watching this live stream, don't skip school. But yeah, I would skip a lot of school and everything for beatboxing. It sounds really cool. Don't do it. And but outside of people, I would definitely do something social. I really enjoy being around people and interacting. So yeah, something social I could do. Yeah, I don't have any specific thing in mind. I always, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a comedian because I look up to comedians so much. I don't know why. I really enjoy watching comedians. So that's always something that I wanted to do even before beatboxing. And then I discovered beatboxing. So that, yeah.
And beatboxing has taken over.
Yeah.
And do you see outside of beatboxing as well other questions that I'm going to start asking these questions kind of weekly because they're always interesting to me, but do you play any sports that you enjoy playing, not just watching but actually playing? Is there anything that you grew up playing, and is there any sports that you do currently?
I used to do judo. I did that as a kid for a long time, and I was actually not that bad. I was pretty good at judo. Then I did some soccer, and I was terrible at soccer. I was absolutely terrible. And after that, I just went to the gym. And recently I discovered I like is it called bouldering in English? I'm not sure.
Yep.
Like climb, like yeah.
Rock climbing, but bouldering is correct.
Yeah, bouldering. Yeah. So I enjoy bouldering. I've been doing that lately. So yeah, that's fun.
That's super sick. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, right here live and direct once again. We're out B-Art talking about beatboxing, and we talked about your career as a battler, some of the music you put out. I wanted to go and ask you about teaching before we get into some other stuff here. Because after this, I'm going to ask you rapid fire questions, all right? But I want to go and ask you about teaching because that's something that you've been passionate about. And what do you look for? What is in your intro class, the first few classes that you're teaching a new group of students? Could you tell us about what your concept of teaching beatboxing is? Where do you start with for students, and also where do you intend to teach? Like, what do you intend to teach them in the first few times that they come to your class?
Okay, is this for people that want to pursue beatbox as a career, or is this for workshops that you would do at schools?
Let's go with 1A, 1B, so both of them. But you start with whichever one you'd like. Let's say starting off with for workshops. What for an introduction workshop? For the general public, what is it that you're trying to teach them and hope they take away from that?
I'm trying to teach them. So I just teach them the basics in the beginning. I don't show too much of who I am. I'm just teaching them the and then even the inward case snare I do really quickly because usually 50% just gets it right away. I got it after 3 years, but if I teach it right, a lot of them actually get that really quickly. And after that, I show them a battle. Usually my battle against the MB14, which I really enjoy watching back. And I just watch the battle, and I'll let them ask questions. I tell them some things about battling. And a lot of kids like these battles, so they're a lot of more interested in what's going to follow. And yeah, so that's the beginning of my workshop, and then usually I do a little game with the so I have like 4 groups in the beginning. Every group gets a sound. And in the beginning they have the same sound. I make 5 groups out of the 4 groups, and then the sound changes to the next group. So that's one little game that I like to play. And then these same groups, they can make names for themselves, and they have they have some time for themselves to make with whatever sounds they can produce, together something for 20 seconds. And in the end, we do a little. Everyone does a showcase, and they can give another group of points. So that's usually like how my workshops kind of work. So that's for the
that's for intro workshops and kids and people that are taking it for the first time. What do you try to purvey for your students that are your students that are you said are coming up, going to be crazy? What usually happens in workshops and in those things? What are you trying to teach new beatboxers that are really trying to pursue it? What is like the B-art way of teaching to students that really want to pursue beatboxing?
I mean, all my lessons are very different, which I like. But the main things that come back every time are things like we work a lot with metronome. We work a lot on our power and mic technique. Mic technique is one of the things that I can teach the best, I think. So we do a lot of mic technique, performance, and a lot on the we put a lot of emphasis on the kick and the snare, like basics. We try to really nail the basics, and I try to make people feel comfortable on stage. Those are the main things, and around that, I'm teaching them patterns, sounds, and everything. Even jamming together, a lot of jamming together. So yeah, those are the main themes in my workshops.
And you think that you have the next Dutch champion in your group?
Yes, definitely. Yes, I've two kids that are insane. They can do so much techniques that I can't do, and that doesn't say a lot, but I know if I can teach them, like they also like started running before walking. They also do the crazy techniques before the basics, but when they get the basics down, these guys are really going to mess up some guys internationally, I think. Yeah.
All right.
My friend Papuni
has got some questions for you as well. But first of all, ladies and gentlemen, right here, live and direct. Rapid fire questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to go and give your answers as quickly as you can without thinking about it too much. All right? Are you ready?
Yes. Let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Beyond the Beats right here, episode 32 with the big homie B-Art. We're about to get into rapid fire questions. First question, standard question lines. Who is your current favorite solo beatboxer?
Slizzer.
Slizzer? Who is your favorite tag team?
A Unity.
Who is your favorite crew?
Bear One.
Who is your favorite loop station artist?
So.
What is your favorite tag team that you have been in?
Polyrhythm.
Jeez. What is the best Dutch snack?
Snack?
Snack food.
Yeah, it's kapsalon.
What's it?
Kapsalon. It's fries. It's like fries and vegetables all in like one. It's one fat. It's really bad for you, but it's really delicious.
Okay. What is the best Dutch actual meal? Your favorite Dutch meal?
Patatje oorlog. It's fry war. It's literally translated fry war. It's with this really nice Indonesian sauce. It's fries. It's like the sausage that only in the Netherlands we eat. Also really bad for you.
What is your favorite sport to watch?
I don't watch sports.
Okay, follow-up question. What is your favorite video game to watch?
To watch Smash.
What is your favorite video game to play?
Assassin's Creed.
Which one?
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed. In a team video game or a competition video game, what is the best one? What are you best at in a video game?
As a team or solo?
Like by yourself versus people.
I'm really bad at competitive gaming. Like none. I'm terrible.
All right. And my last question is, no, actually, I already asked that one. Darn it. Okay. I have to think of one off the top of my head. Why are bikes so popular in the Netherlands?
Oh, because it's healthy. You can go everywhere. You can bike anywhere, and it's very safe.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Rapid fire.
Those are rapid fire questions. Next up, we have some
My friend Papuni.
Questions from
My friend Papuni. My friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni.
has a few questions for you. His first question is, he's going to say, what are the favorite countries that you've visited so far?
Ooh. I love going to Asia. Is one of my favorite. Always one of my favorite times. Maybe also because I went so many times. But I really enjoy going to Hong Kong as well. This is one of my favorite places to go. Yep.
All right. And he follows that up.
My friend Papuni.
Wants to know, what countries, is there one country that you still really want to go to if you had to choose one country you haven't been to?
Ooh. I have no clue why. But I still want. I want to go to Indonesia or Philippines. One of these two countries. Yeah.
Seems
Also
they're
because
crazy.
Indonesia was used to be a Dutch colony as well, and so it has a lot to do with Dutch. Yep.
That'd be cool.
My friend Papuni.
Has some more questions. He would like to know. Well, you already answered this, but will you compete in Grand Beatbox Battle World League 2021 if it happens? All right.
My friend Papuni.
Has to go and ask you as well. What do you like about the Grand Beatbox Battle World League specifically?
It's the level. I like the eliminations a lot. I like the everything that's around it as well, like the also the crew, loop station. I really enjoy to watch the other categories as well, and see all my friends again. Like I have so much friends that are beatboxers. Right now, all my life is beatbox. When I still was studying, it used to be like everything was still different. You had beatbox, and then you had those friends, but it just kind of like shifted into everything is beatbox right now. And so much of my friends are beatboxers.
Yes, beatbox usually does take over.
My friend Papuni.
Has a few more questions for you. On Spotify, we talked about this briefly, but on Spotify, what are your goals that you would like to achieve on Spotify? Are there any metrics specifically that you'd like to achieve on Spotify?
I set like goals for myself every single month, and I've been going over them every single time. So I need to strive like better. But before the end of this year, I wanted to have 10,000 monthly listeners. What
are you at now?
Right now we have 9,000. So just 1,000 to go.
All right, people, go and check it out, the Spotify.
My friend Papuni.
Wants to go and continue on this question line, but who else would you like to collaborate with in the beatboxing world?
Ooh. Who else do I want to collaborate with? I'm currently collaborating with. I'm really excited for my project with Artifacts right now that we're working with every single week. So he's not as much of a beatboxer, but it's really exciting to have like a different way of working with your beats.
And is there any beatboxer specifically that you haven't worked with but you'd like to yet, like for a video or a song?
Maybe Hiss.
Good selection.
My friend Papuni.
Also would like to know, who outside the beatbox scene would you like to perform or to work with on music? So is there any artists other than Artifact is there somebody that you're like, I want to do a song with this person if you had the choice?
I have no clue. I don't think of anyone right now. I don't know.
Okay.
My friend Papuni
has a couple more questions for you. He wants to know, we kind of talked about this a little bit, but I'll just say this is he always brings these in. when he sends me these long messages about questions for people, he always has these in. So
My friend Papooni
wants you to know. This isn't a question. This is more of him just saying stuff. He says, you're a great beatboxer. He wants you to know that you're so important to the scene and he adores you. He wants you to know that he hopes the future that you will come over and make some cool new projects with SBX whenever you want to. It is an honor for you to go and work with SBX, and whatever it is you want to do in the future, he will support you. And he wishes nothing but success and wishes nothing but the Dutch scene gets huge and that you continue to succeed. His last question is,
my friend Papooni,
when is the next time you're doing a collaboration with SBX? A shout out.
Oh, wow. I don't know. Whenever there is a great opportunity, I would join. And thanks for the kind words.
My friend Papooni.
Always.
My friend Papooni.
Bringing the heat and talking that stuff, making it nice. So we've had questions, rapid fire questions from Papooni. Next up, we have crowd questions. These are questions for people that have been watching. They want to make sure that let me see here. People are still watching and they're really enjoying it. Thank you guys for tuning in, sticking with us right here with BArt. Questions that you have. First question from our audience. Does your style of beatboxing hurt your throat ever? Have you ever hurt your throat by doing so much bass?
I think it happens more and more, I feel. And I always used to say, like, it never hurts. I just feel it when I don't beatbox for a while, and then I beatbox for a long time. And especially when I use throat bass and inward bass, I can lose my voice a little bit afterwards. Yeah, it does happen now. I become old. Yeah.
So the key is to not stop beatboxing.
Exactly. Never stop beatboxing.
All right. Another question from the crowd. They want to know, how did it feel when D-Lo took your cap off when you battled him?
Okay. So a lot of people don't know this, or maybe you do know. Like, so a few months before this, I did an operation on my hair. So around that time, it was still like pretty fresh and it was like not completely recovered yet. So I was actually really, really scared that it would mess up like what they did with the hair. So it was like I didn't care about him taking his head. It was just a battle move. But for me, it was just very, very scary because I had like an operation done there. And I felt like it would mess that up. That's why you could see my face, like, oh my, people thought I looked very angry, but I was just very, very scared at that moment that something was messed up. So that's the real reason that I looked so angry, because D-Lo is a very good friend of mine. Yeah, I adore this guy. Yeah.
Well, your hair looks proper right now, by the way, too. I like it. Another question from the audience. We already talked about that. Okay, there you go. That's a good one. Who is the favorite battle, or which beatboxer was your favorite to battle? What was your favorite battle that you've been in?
I really enjoyed battling MB14, but I think one of my favorite battles was against Slizzer, and I battled him 2 times. Slizzer has also been a very, very big inspiration from my beginning career. And I think he makes amazing loop station stuff right now as well. Like some of the things that he does in the loop station are insane. So yeah, and he's very nice to battle against. Like not too much, like it sounds weird, but not too much pressure. And I just liked to battle him because I looked up to him so much.
I love Slizzer as well. Good dude. Another question from the audience. They have all right, they wanted to go and say, the idea of outer space, how did you evolve this into something new with that routine? How did you evolve the idea and build outer space as a routine? Somebody's just a huge fan of that song and that routine, so they want to know, was there an inspiration that brought you to this idea?
I think back, it's a long time ago, but I think I built it together with Maddox at the time, and I think Maddox actually really helped me with that. I just had the sounds, and I think Maddox just like made everything fit together.
Okay, I like that. Another question from the audience. They want you to go and say, how do you improve your breathing and stamina on stage? Do you have exercises that you do to improve this?
Stamina on stage. I think feeling at ease on stage is the biggest thing that you can do for stamina on stage. I mean, obviously you can exercise a lot, which will help. But if you feel stressed, it doesn't help that much anymore. So like feeling comfortable on stage goes a long way. And there are actually breathing techniques to improve how you feel on stage. And I really like to teach I always teach my students this breathing technique to just do before you go on stage that Wim Hof does. Maybe people know Wim Hof. He's known as the Iceman. This guy has like a couple of. He's a Dutch guy actually. He has a couple of world records from swimming under ice and crazy shit like that. But his breathing techniques also work for stress relief, and that's something that I like to teach for people that go on stage.
Very good one. Well, those are questions from the audience. It's your boy Tech Super right here asking some questions. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn this off. And yeah, so real quick, people have been asking me this the entire time. They really wanted to go and say, I'll ask one that just came in right here live and direct. So people keep on saying sometimes that this is pre-recorded. They want to know, what are your favorite 3 sounds right now? A guy named Dijak wants to know that. Just what are your favorite 3 sounds in the beatbox world right now?
It's funny. Dijak is actually one of my students, and it's really funny. This guy's really he really wants to learn a lot, and this is a cool guy because I have 2 beatbox locations that people can join me and learn, and he goes to both locations and he gets the same lesson twice. He just like travels to one location and the next day I teach at the other location. He's also there. So this guy is a big shout out to Guus, aka Dijak.
So he asked you, what's your 3 favorite sounds currently?
Oh, my 3 favorite sounds. It's still throat bass is one of my favorite sounds. It's always nice. So throat bass. Favorite sounds. So hard. I like the inward K snare combination with the click roll, like it has a lot of bass. I really enjoyed that sound, and I also really enjoy oscillations with the tongue, like and transitions. Yeah, those were 4. But yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are your questions for this week. Yeah, man. We're before we jump off of here. I don't know if you have time or would like to. If you'd enjoy to go, and people have been asking the entire time, so I'm asking you if you have time and you'd like to go and give a little freestyle for us. Again, I know you're not going through microphones and crazy quality right here because it's just through your phone, which is super dope, by the way. Again, I said this before and it looks really clean picture and sounds good, but people have been asking, they really want to hear you beatboxing. So do you have time to give us a little showcase?
Let's do it.
All right. Take a little, very important, drink juice, orange juice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, right here, live and direct, Beyond the Beats with the big homie B-Art. He's going to do a little beatbox freestyle. You already know what to do if you're sitting at home. I say the 3, y'all say the 2 and the 1 in 3. Yo. Right there. You come correct when you're on Beyond the Beats. BR showing you how to do it with that. Smashing it up right now, even for a freestyle, man. God dang, that was good. That makes me happy. That put a smile on my face, my friend. So straight up, yo, man, thank you for jumping on this with us. Beyond the Beats once again. Is there anything we didn't talk about that you want to talk about? Is there anything that I'm missing out on here that I forgot to want to ask you about?
We talked about everything. Like I'm actually impressed by how much you gathered. So yeah, thanks. Cheers up to you as well.
Thank you very much. Beyond the Beats, we try to go and do this thing proper and correct, but I want to go ahead and say, before we jump out of here, we're going to have the links in the description box below, but where can people follow you for things like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify? Where can people go and support you?
Go my Instagram. I'm on Facebook, but not that much. Go my Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. That's the main thing. Just BR Beatbox. I think you can find me on any of these platforms with BR Beatbox.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. He wants to get to 10,000 listeners, and that's the beginning goal. So go on the Spotify, become one of those listeners, support the homies, putting out new projects coming up soon. And if you're in the Netherlands, hit him up too and find out where you can go and either book him for shows or come to his workshops and get some lessons, and maybe you'll become one of the next world champions, one of the next actual Dutch champions. You never know how far it'll take you, so go ahead and hit him up. Yo, man, it's been a pleasure. You're one of my favorites. I can't wait to go and see you again in life, in real life, in person, talk to you, see you face to face. This has been fun, and I can't wait to see you battle again. I can't wait to see everything continue the way it was. So I miss you, and I love you, and I hope you're doing well, man. It's good to go and see you. It's good to go and see you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Beyond the Beats, it's your friend Scott Jackson right here telling you to keep safe. Give a family member a call. Give your friends a call. Make sure that people are feeling good over these times. Everybody has different things they're going through, but right here, come out every week. We'll be doing Beyond the Beats, and you'll find out about your favorite beatboxers from around the world. Keep practicing. Keep that hockey stick on the ice, as a Canadian would say, and have yourself a good time. Scott Jackson signing off. Once again, this has been Beyond the Beats. Thank you very much, homeboy, for coming in here. I'm going to sign off like that. Thank you guys for coming in. We'll see you next week. Tune in to find out what's happening Beyond the Beats, and that's